The Galactic Council Hall floated in the center of the star system, like a shining crown. Its walls were made of living crystal, glowing softly with every color known to the galaxy. Inside, representatives from more than 50 alien species sat in wide circles, watching and waiting. This council had one purpose: to decide which species were dangerous and which could be controlled. On this day, the topic was a small, young species called humans. Most council members looked bored. Some tapped claws on metal tables. Others whispered to each other. To them, humans were not worth serious attention. At the center of the hall stood a thin alien with pale blue skin and long eyes. His name was Ilaris, an ambassador from a minor race that had survived several galactic wars. His people were known for one thing only: they never ignored danger. Ilaris stepped forward slowly. His hands shook, but his voice stayed clear. "There is one warning I must give," he said. "Never attack humans." A moment of silence followed. Then laughter filled the hall. A large reptilian lord leaned forward. "Humans?" he said with a mocking tone. "Those soft creatures from a medium-gravity world?" Another council member laughed. "They have no natural weapons, no claws, no venom, no mind powers." Ilaris raised his voice. "That is exactly why you should fear them." The laughter grew louder. The high speaker of the council, a tall being made of light and shadow, lifted one hand. "Ambassador Ilaris, explain your concern," the speaker said calmly. Ilaris took a deep breath. "Humans come from a death world. Their planet tried to kill them every day. Storms, earthquakes, diseases, predators. Even their own kind fought endless wars. The council listened, but without real interest. They survived all of it," Ilaris continued. "They adapted. They learned. They did not become strong because they wanted power. They became strong because they had no choice." A winged council member interrupted. "Many species survive harsh worlds. That does not make them a threat." Ilaris looked around the hall. "Humans do not seek conquest. They do not attack first. But when threatened, they do not stop." That made a few members shift in their seats. "They fight differently," Ilaris said. "They do not rely on instinct alone. They plan. They wait. They sacrifice themselves if it means protecting others." The reptilian lord snorted. "Stories and fear," he said. "We have fleets that can burn stars. Humans are barely spacefaring." Ilaris clenched his hands. "That is what everyone thought, before it was too late." The high speaker leaned forward. "Are you saying humans are hiding their power?" "I am saying," Ilaris replied, "that humans only show their true strength when they are pushed into a corner." The hall went quiet again, but the mood did not change. Confidence filled the room. A message suddenly appeared on the central display. It showed a border region near human-controlled space. Several unknown warships were moving closer. The high speaker glanced at the screen. "An independent empire testing borders," the speaker said. "Nothing unusual." Ilaris stared at the image. His heart sank. "They are making a mistake," he whispered. The reptilian lord smiled. "Then we will watch and learn." Ilaris bowed his head. "If you allow this attack to continue," he said, "the galaxy will change forever." The high speaker waved a hand. "Your warning is noted. The council will observe." Ilaris stepped back, feeling cold despite the warm light of the hall. He knew what would come next. Far away, on the edge of human space, a small outpost floated near a dead moon. Inside, human soldiers moved with calm focus as warning lights turned red. A young human officer read the incoming data. Enemy ships, armed, moving fast. He did not shout. He did not panic. He only sighed and said, "So they chose to test us." Around him, humans prepared in silence. No fear, no chaos. Outside the outpost, the first alien weapons powered up. Back in the council hall, Ilaris closed his eyes. They were warned, he said softly. And in the darkness of space, the first shot was fired. Asterisk. The first blast hit the human outpost without warning. Bright energy tore through empty space and slammed into the outer shield. The shield held, but the impact shook the station. Inside, alarms sounded once, then went silent. Red lights faded to a calm white. No one screamed. Human soldiers moved exactly as they were trained. Doors sealed, power rerouted. Defense systems woke from deep sleep. Commander Ethan High stood in the control room. He was not a hero from stories. He was not angry or afraid. He simply watched the data scroll across the screen. Confirm hostile intent, he said. The officer beside him nodded. Confirmed. They fired first. Ethan took a slow breath. Begin protocol ashfall. The room became quiet. Protocol ashfall was not used for pirates. Not for small border fights. It was used only when survival was at risk. Far outside, the alien fleet watched the outpost. Their commander believed the humans would surrender. That was how most species reacted when faced with superior firepower. But the human outpost did not fire back. It did not retreat. It did not beg. It simply stayed there. The alien commander frowned. Fire again, he ordered. A second volley hit the shields. Still, the station did not fall. Inside, humans worked faster. Calm hands, focused eyes. No wasted movement. Ethan looked at a new signal appearing on his screen. A tight beam message, sent on an old frequency. He read it once. Then he nodded. Message received, he said quietly. Deep beneath the outpost, something ancient woke up. Not a weapon. A signal. Across human space, similar signals lit up. From mining colonies, from research stations. From quiet civilian worlds. No loud alarms followed. No public announcements. Just simple messages sent from one human to another. They attacked. Back in the Galactic Council hall, the screens showed live feeds of the attack. Many council members leaned forward, curious now. They are still standing, one said. The reptilian lord crossed his arms. Barely. Alaris stood in the shadows, watching in silence. His hands were clenched. Humans are strange, said another council member. They should have responded by now. Alaris whispered. They are responding. On the edge of the system, space bent. A human ship appeared. Then another, then dozens more. They did not arrive in a rush. They did not form an aggressive formation. They simply took positions. Quiet, orderly. The alien fleet hesitated. These ships were not detected earlier. The alien commander said, "Scan them." The scans returned confusing results. The ships were not heavily armed by galactic standards. No massive cannons. No glowing cores. The alien commander laughed. This is what they send? Old metal boxes? Then the human ships activated their systems. The alien fleet lost targeting locks. Communications went dark. Navigation systems failed. No explosions. No fire. Just silence. Inside the alien flagship, panic spread. What is happening? An officer shouted. The human ships did not destroy them. They did something worse. They took control. Back on the outpost, Ethan watched as enemy ships drifted, powerless. Hold fire, he ordered. An officer looked surprised. Sir? They made the first mistake, Ethan said. Let them see the second. A human message broadcast across open channels. Clear, simple, calm. You have crossed into human space. Power down. This is your only warning. The alien commander stared at the message. His hands shook. Back in the council hall, the laughter was gone. The high speaker stood slowly. This was not in our predictions. Alaris finally spoke. His voice was steady now. They survived worse than this, he said, and they learned. The screen showed the alien fleet, silent and helpless, surrounded by calm human ships. This was not a battle. It was a lesson. And the galaxy had just witnessed the first proof that the warning had been real. The alien fleet floated in silence. Engines dead. Weapons offline. No way to run. No way to fight. Inside the human command ship, there was no celebration, no cheering. Humans did not see this as a victory. To them, it was a problem that needed to be finished cleanly. Commander Ethan High stood with his hands behind his back, watching the frozen enemy ships through the main display. "Open a channel," he said. The screen shifted. The face of the alien fleet commander appeared. His skin had lost its color. Fear sat openly in his eyes. "You crippled our fleet without destroying us," the alien said. "Why?" Ethan's voice was calm. "Because you can still choose." "Choose what?" the alien asked. "Whether this ends here," Ethan replied, "or becomes something you cannot escape." The alien commander swallowed hard. Back in the Galactic Council hall, the atmosphere had changed. The room that once held laughter now felt heavy. Representatives leaned close to their screens, watching every word. The high speaker spoke softly. "Humans show restraint." Alaris shook his head. "No," he said. "They show control." On the battlefield, human ships began to move, not forward, not backward, sideways. They formed a wide ring around the disabled fleet. It was not a trap. It was a boundary. A signal spread through the alien ships. Systems slowly came back online, but only basic life support. Nothing else. The alien commander realized what had happened. Humans were not taking power. They were returning just enough to survive. "You are letting us live," the alien said quietly. "Yes," Ethan replied. "So you remember." The alien looked away. His pride was gone now. "If we withdraw, will you chase us?" Ethan paused for a moment. "Humans do not hunt those who leave us alone." The alien commander bowed his head. "Then we withdraw." Human ships moved aside. The boundary opened. One by one, the alien vessels limped away. Not destroyed. Not humiliated. Marked across the galaxy. Sensors recorded everything. Military academies replayed the encounter again and again. Analysts tried to understand what they had seen. Humans had won without rage, without cruelty, without celebration. They had shown something far more dangerous. Discipline. El Aris returned to the center of the council hall. His voice carried across the chamber. "This is why you are warned," he said. "They do not need to prove dominance. They only need to prove consequence." A council member spoke nervously. "What if others do not learn?" Illyris looked at the screen, where the human ships still floated in quiet formation. "Then the lesson will be repeated," he said. "But it will not stay gentle forever." Far away, on a human world filled with blue oceans and green land, people continued their daily lives. Children went to school. Workers returned home. Few of them even knew what had happened. That was the most frightening part. Humans did not need fear to unite them. They needed a reason. In a secure command room, Ethan recorded a final report. He ended it with a simple sentence: "Border secure. No further action required." He shut down the display and looked out at the stars. They had been attacked. They had responded. And now the galaxy was beginning to understand a truth it had laughed at before. Humans did not seek war, but once pushed, they decided how it ended. Asterisk. The alien fleet returned home in broken order. Their ships were damaged, their pride shattered, but they were alive. Every commander in that empire understood one truth now. They had not been defeated by force alone. They had been defeated by restraint. Across the galaxy, recordings of the encounter spread fast. Military councils watched in silence. Scholars paused their debates. Even the most aggressive empires stopped expanding for a moment. Humans had done what no species had ever done before. They had won without taking anything. Back in the Galactic Council hall, the atmosphere felt different. The glowing walls seemed dimmer. The seats once filled with confidence now held unease. The high speaker stood again, slower than before. "We misjudged them," the speaker said. No one argued. The reptilian lord, once loud and proud, avoided eye contact. His claws rested still on the table. Alaris stepped forward. This time, no one laughed. "You saw only their bodies," Alaris said. "You ignored their history." A council member spoke carefully. "They could have destroyed that fleet." "Yes," Alaris replied. "And they chose not to." The hall grew quiet. "That is what makes them dangerous," Alaris continued. "They decide when violence is needed, and when it is not." The high speaker nodded. "What do you propose?" Alaris did not hesitate. "A law." The word echoed through the chamber. "A warning must become a rule," he said. "Never attack humans. Never threaten their worlds. Never test their borders. And if someone does?" Another member asked. Alaris looked toward the stars. "Then the galaxy will not need to punish them. Humans will." The council voted. For the first time in centuries, the decision was unanimous. A new law was written into the galactic record. Humans, protected species. Hostile action against them is forbidden. Far away, on a quiet human colony, Commander Ethan Hawley walked through a public plaza. No one recognized him. No one thanked him. That was fine. He watched children run past him, laughing. He watched families gather under artificial skies. This was what humans defended. Not power. Not territory. Life. A message arrived on his wrist display. A short one. Galactic Council has issued a protection law. Ethan read it once, then closed the display. "They finally listened," he murmured. Beside him, another officer asked, "Does it change anything?" Ethan shook his head. "No, we would have done the same either way." In orbit, the human ships slowly powered down and returned to their normal patrol routes. No victory signals were sent. No flags were raised. Just quiet order. Years later, in alien academies, students studied one simple sentence carved into stone: "Never attack humans." Teachers explained it carefully. "Not because they are cruel," they said. "Not because they enjoy war, but because they survive everything and they remember." Alaris, now old, stood alone in the council hall one last time. He looked at the empty center where he had once been mocked. "You were warned," he whispered to the silent room. Somewhere beyond the stars, a human ship drifted peacefully, its crew relaxed but alert. They did not seek fear. They did not seek control. They only asked one thing from the ASCII. Galaxy. Leave them alone. And now, finally, the galaxy understood why.